Hi everyone, this is GGN. It's Monday, April 24th, 2017, and this is my first really recorded video for GGN in probably about a year and a half. I'm not going to be back for good pumping out videos like the olden days, but I think I figured out my audio issue and I basically got malware bytes and got some Trojan horses and bugs out of there, and then I got this this new microphone, and so I think I should be coming in loud and clear right now. This video is all about chemtrails, race for survival. I'm not even sure if I'm going to post this to there. From what I've seen, a majority of people that are nationalists or racially aware or anything like that don't want to touch this subject, but it's a very, very real subject. And it just got more real recently. So I decided, with Trump going, I would say going rogue and starting to just bomb countries and try to start World War III, I think he's just going full-on neocon globalist. We'll just have to see. But this is getting into it now. What I've noticed over the last week, especially the last week and a half to 2 weeks, is a massive increase or uptick in the amount of aerosol spraying. If you're an old-time GGN listener, then you are already aware of all this, and you probably have observed it yourself, how it's kind of, for some reason, ever since that Syria attacking Assad's and the Syrian government, the chemtrails have increased big time. And we're talking like really, really big difference. So that's why I felt like, maybe I should start making some GGN videos, because this is going to get pretty interesting. Like, I can see already, I can tell with just the first 3 or 4 or 5 months of Trump. And so I'll give you my kind of thoughts on it, right? Okay, so with Obama, what I noticed was when I first became aware of chemtrails, it was in 2008. I was just finishing college, and I just happened to look up after hearing about it. I'm like, well, holy shit, they really are spraying us. So ever since that time, at about the spring of 2008, I've been looking up at the sky. I'm not, exaggerating or joking. I really have been, because it's a serious issue. And what I noticed was that under the first 4 years of Obama, the spraying continued, and also probably because I was more aware of it too, and I was starting to understand the programs, the different departments and different groups that are involved in this program. I started to notice more freakish things like the ripples, the pulsing of frequencies by using ground satellites, air satellites, and various other infrastructure and tools to basically spread out all of these aerosols that they spray. They call it cloud seeding. So I've seen all the wacky stuff. I've seen the weird lightning that comes with it. Incessant. Usually it'll be heat, quick heat when they're out there spraying. It'll increase it, bump it up from what the predicted weather will be by about 5 degrees, sometimes 10 degrees. Also, I was saying the rain, I could just call it chem rain. It'll just keep going and keep drizzling and drizzling and drizzling, for hours, sometimes days, leading to flooding. So it really is a big issue. And so going back to what I was saying was, under the first 4 years of Obama, I noticed that, it was still going. But something happened after 2012, especially after 2014, and I don't know if you guys noticed this as well, but it was sometime after 2014, it was scaled back. And all of a sudden, you stopped seeing all of this crud in the sky that was just massive tic-tac-toe, they just take away the sun before it's even 10 o'clock in the morning because it's so thick, and then comes, the cooling period and the rain and the chem rain for 2 or 3 days and the flooding and all that stuff. And it just slowed down. I started to actually see the blue skies again. I started to see the poofy white cumulus clouds that, that we see in pictures. more of just regular weather patterns where storm fronts move in and they move out and sun comes back up, back out. That stuff I did not see from 2008 all the way up to about 2014. So here's my kind of theory as to what's going on here. I don't know if former President Obama was aware of this whole chemtrail thing, and I'm not even sure if Trump is, and none of us can really prove whether they're aware of this program. But I would bet my life on it that it does exist for different reasons. It doesn't even matter what the reason is. The fact is that if we are living in a democratic society, we should all be aware that we're paying for this and we're doing this to our earth, to our land, to our health, to our future. So it is a big deal. So with Obama, I'm thinking after his first term, he started to rein in the military a little bit. We saw that, right? With Trump, he seems to be just like Bush, a replica of Bush, basically, about big guns. And, I remember when him saying that about we're going to have a big, strong military and all this, and that's always a little scary to me. So he's starting off his first term by bulking up the military, trying to start war with North Korea, with Syria, which basically means trying to start war with Russia and Iran. And in doing that, what I'm thinking is that Obama had the military on a leash, which meant that this chemtrail program, which falls under the military program, was also on a leash. And when Trump came in, he basically let the military off the leash. And when that happened, boom, you start getting the massive spraying. They're not giving a flying fuck about you, your health, or anything. It's all about just continuing this great experiment of massive spraying. Massive spraying, right? And it still existed under Obama. I noticed it, but it wasn't near as bad as it has been over the last few weeks. Now, what I've noticed too recently is how it's kind of being rolled out. Today is April the 24th, 2017, and when I noticed it really big time about a week ago, I noticed that it was kind of like how it was before. It was like they just kind of spray and they just keep spraying and it doesn't do anything. But now I don't know if they're upping the amount of aerosols that they're dumping. I don't know if they're mixing different concoctions of chemicals into it, or if they just, like I said, they're just putting more out there. But it's definitely, they're changing their little tactics here, because now we're starting to see, instead of just a few planes here and there, I'm starting to see the old stuff, the old things that I used to see that haunt me in my dreams. I'm joking, of course, but still, I'm seeing the tic-tac-toes today. I've seen them all kinds where they're starting to do the X's and the tic-tac-toes. They weren't even doing that a few weeks ago. So all of a sudden, for some reason, they started that. And maybe they forgot, right? Maybe all those old-time chemtrail people that were spraying us every day for however many years, maybe those guys retired and they're living in the Florida Keys or something, on their pensions. But, like, seriously, maybe they have to relearn the whole program and be like, hey, hey there, guys, we're supposed to be making X's in the sky. You can't just spray them, otherwise they're not going to spread enough. So now they're starting it, and I've also seen, like, you could see one right here. I've seen twin sprayers, 1, 2, 3 all lined up. I haven't seen that in, like I said, a good 3 to 4 plus years. Also, I've seen today on the way to work 2 chemtrails sprayers passing each other. I made a video about this, mocking this, about when I see these sprayer planes passing each other so close, they look like they're going to crash. Of course they're not, but from the ground they do. And I made a satire video about these chemtrail people. What would it be like? And I had like a mock interview of them saying, oh, there goes Bob. They're like waving to each other as they pass each other, spraying. You know what I mean? Saying, oh, hey, Tom, oh, there goes Bob, or what are you doing out here, like, oh, yeah, they got me back doing runs, like, yeah, okay, we'll see you around. Seriously, I think about this stuff. I think about whether there's people in these planes. Are they just drones, which is very possible? Are there people in them? But what this does prove, this uptick, is that to me, it proves that I was pretty spot on as far as who is behind this program. We're talking about mostly military. Those could be CIA planes that are doing it. It could be run by the U.S. Air Force and the Navy. It could be also having to do with different national laboratories. There's at least 3 of them, but there's about 5 of national laboratories, totally federally funded and that, but private, kind of like CIA, off the books. I think it's called Evergreen, those planes. So there's a lot of different parties involved in this. And you can't, I was thinking, well, maybe Trump with his money will actually spray these, yeah. Maybe he'll actually blast these planes out of the sky. I mean, I actually joked about it about a year ago when it wasn't even that bad. And I'm like, maybe Trump will come in and actually do what he's saying. He'll, use his money and set up these missile pads throughout the country and just start blowing these these planes out of the sky. But instead, he actually, I think, unwittingly continued this horrible, dark, demonic program known as chemtrails. They call it geoengineering, terraforming, weather modification, but it's much more than weather modification. What they're doing is, and it makes perfect sense, when you go around and start antagonizing the second most powerful country in the world, I'm talking about Russia. I mean, they may not be second, that could be debatable, but they're up there, and they're not one country to be messing with and provoking, i.e. attacking Syria, which means you attack Syria, you attack Russia, you attack Iran. So they're definitely concerned. And all of a sudden this aerosol spraying kicks up. And why? Well, because it's not just about weather modification, it's about blocking out satellites. It's about jamming radar. It's about jamming all the little goodies that the Russians probably have, just like the Americans and other modern countries, to be able to see, to gain intelligence. And these little aerosols, these particles that they spray, block it out. I don't know why it's such a big secret, why they can't just come out and say that that's what they're doing. I mean, if they just said it, a bunch of, average people who don't really know the implications of what that means will just say, well, yeah, that's good, yeah, screw them communists, Oh, man, on that point, yeah, I'll finish it up at that and just say, what I've seen, I got 2 more minutes left, this whole North Korea thing, it's just so sad. I mean, I'm seeing articles, it's just the way it's all being laid out, it's so pathetic. It's, like the same thing, so overdone. It's not even original about the chemical attack by the Syrian government and, Trump reacting to this. It's almost like I honestly do think that Trump is very easily manipulated by these people because they show him this picture or this video. 50% it's staged. It's not even real. They have actors. They've done it before. Trump sees it. He's in some dark war room or something like that, thinking he's all big badass. And maybe he was genuinely, concerned and sad, but, it was probably faked. And if it wasn't faked, it was done by the terrorists, the same terrorists that his government has been funding for the last however many years. I mean, that's just the reality of the situation. So, I see people talking about North Korea in the news. They're talking about, ATM machines aren't working and gas lines and all this. I'm like... And then you hear the people talk at work and around you talking about just regurgitating the same bullshit that they hear on Fox News, or it's not just Fox anymore. See, that's when you know when the media is now kind of, they're not really for pro-Trump, but they're not really at him anymore. I hope you guys should notice that, or hopefully you do, that they're not really all out against Trump anymore, because now Trump's willing to just start bombing the enemies of globalists. That's what I tried to say in my last video a few weeks ago. I was like, I could tell this guy is getting ready to do some bombing and stuff like that, and that's what he did. So, unfortunately, it looks like Trump's going to be a trump card. But not for the people, but for the globalists, for the New World Order, as they say. So, some of the implications are, what I have been seeing is people have more headaches. People with allergy. Oh, my allergy. I don't have allergies. People that are sick. Those are just some of the implications. They're going to see more lone shooters, more disruption in society, more violence, more aggression, stuff like that. More people are going to be tired for some reason. So I really hope this video gets uploaded and the audio works. But yeah, it's just scary hearing people say that. Well, yeah, you know, he killed Kim Jong, he killed his whole military staff, and he killed his daughter-in-law. So I'm like, yeah, I was joking, like being sarcastic. Yeah, let's just go freaking bomb them, right? Let's just kill everybody. Thank you.